let's get to it. Netanyahu, our top news story of today. Netanyahu, Israeli Prime Minister at the UN General Assembly. Now, even before Netanyahu made his way to the United States of America, there was already a lot of news. And even before he delivered this speech, there was a lot of news surrounding him. Number one, when he was flying to the United States, he actually had to avoid the airspace of numerous European countries, such as Spain. Okay, interesting. Big L for him. Good start. When he came to the United States of America, he was staying at the Lowe's Hotel. I believe it's like a $1,700 a night stay that, of course, is taxpayer funded. And people figured out where he was staying. And, of course, they wanted to protest around where he was staying. But the American government, once again, did what it loves to do best. Use tax dollars to defend Israel. Breaking, NYPD is mass arresting protesters outside of Netanyahu's hotel, accusing them of making unreasonable noise. What's truly unreasonable is Netanyahu murdering over 680,000 Palestinians. Our noise is resistance. Our noise is justice. New York is on our side, and the cars passing by are honking for Palestine and not letting Netanyahu sleep tonight.
This is not the United States of America. It's the United States of Israel. The same shit that's happening in Israel right now. Israel.
Yeah. Not only did they arrest people that were protesting, they also shut off the entire street around the hotel, for the record, which is even more tax dollars being spent. Interesting. But I guess it's just one fucking speed for America, One speed. Netanyahu is more important than you, tax-paying citizens. Your tax dollars go to you to both defend him in the homeland when he's here in the United States of America. Your tax dollars go to fund his lavish hotel stays. Your tax dollars go to him bringing his literal dirty laundry. Okay? And then your tax dollars go to the militarized police force of the NYPD, shutting down entire blocks of New York City so that Benjamin Netanyahu can sleep comfortably at night, so he can come out and deliver this dog shit speech. Now, of course, things are changing. Things are changing. What do I mean by this? Well, the United Nations General Assembly and its damn near entirety walked out before the Netanyahu General Assembly address. There was a bunch of stuff that Netanyahu did that was also unique that I'm going to be talking about as well. Before the address started, he ordered the IDF to bring in a bunch of PAs into the Gaza Strip. Okay? He brought in a bunch of PAs into the Gaza Strip so that I guess the Palestinians could hear his wonderful speech. There were reports of the Israeli government intercepting the phones of Palestinians and blasting his speech as well. I can't confirm that one. I don't know. But I can confirm that at least the Palestinians that I talked to in Gaza did not hear the speech at all, for the record. Not just reports. Netanyahu confirmed it in the speech. Yeah, he was fucking view-botting. Look at this. Jerusalem. In unprecedented operation, Israeli army takes over mobile phones in Gaza residents to carry Netanyahu's UN speech live. In an unprecedented action, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a live broadcast from the UN building in New York, has announced that the IDF took control over the telephones in Gaza residents and Hamas members, and that his speech is now being broadcast live via their telephones. The Prime Minister appealed to the residents of Gaza and made it clear that the war could end immediately upon the return of the hostages, the disarming of Hamas, and the demilitarization of the Strip. We still act as though this is not a concentration camp that Israel has complete control over, by the way. So stupid. So unimaginably stupid. They didn't take them over. They sent an SMS to tune into him with a URL. Oh, okay. Regardless, the fact that they have the fucking phone numbers of every single person with a phone, cartoonishly evil shit. Despite the loudspeaker operation so far, residents in Gaza complain in Telegram groups that they hear nothing from Netanyahu's speech, which is supposed to be broadcast on loudspeakers deployed by by the IDF. This was really funny. And I did check with people in Gaza, and they also confirmed to me that they could not hear the speech. So, you know, their ears were spared. He was mudded. Yet another spectacular L for the Israeli occupational force. Yet another spectacular L for the diaper brigades, piss reel, whatever you want to fucking call it. Now, the speech is long, it's convoluted, and it's more so about flexing, okay? Also, shouts out the quadriplegic. Thank you for the 69 gifted subs, and Valorant as well for the 19 gifted subs. Again, Netanyahu bragging about hijacking cell phones in Gaza to force the Palestinians. He's starving to hear a speech that half the United Nations walked out on. What more can you say? Says Prem Tucker. Correct. And also, this is yet another instance of Israel looking to the Nazi regime and what the Nazis historically did to the Jews and saying, well, that seems like a great idea. We should do that in our own Holocaust. The photo, this is from Rami Abdul from Euromed HR, Human Rights. The photo shows Israeli army trucks with loudspeakers broadcasting Netanyahu's speech to displace Gaza residents. Where did the Israeli army get this idea? From the Nazi German army, which spread Hitler's propaganda in concentration camps. I swear to God, it is literally 1-to-1, dude. The only exception is that there is just not a gas chamber. That's it. Like, it is the same kind of mechanized death taking place inside of a ghetto, a ghettoized population, a concentration camp. Yes, yet they're being starved to death. They're being bombed into oblivion. It is a 1-to-1. Bro, come on. The Japanese do the same thing for political messaging. This is not new. Dog, you just brought up another fascist government. You just brought up another fucking fascist government. Yeah, no shit. I know. This one is unique, though, because literally this is a very significant historical event that impacted the entire Jewish world. Okay? That's why I'm saying they're literally looking at shit that the Nazis did to their great-grandparents and going, this is my shit. I like it. I'm going to do it myself to the newfound enemies. By the way, for additional Holocaust context, see if you can spot the similarities. The Nazis tortured the prisoners whom they had branded as nationless fellows with speeches by Nazi party leaders. All this had been introduced with hours and hours of speeches by Hitler and recordings of march music. Anyway, the speech is ass. I don't even know if I want to watch the whole thing. It's a European Jewish experience, not world Jews. True. Fair. But it's so consequential and so impactful that like every Jewish person around the planet has felt it, is what I mean. Like it's something that has impacted every single Jewish person culturally. So I hope they show a crowd shot. That's what I want to show from this speech first and foremost.
Please, order in the hall. Please, order in the hall. Please order in the hall.
Cucks.
Please order.
Danny Danon, please clap. What are you doing? You are Hamas. You are Hamas. All of you. You are all Hamas. I am Danny Danon. Why are you leaving? No politic here. No politic. Israel number one. Israel number one. Anti-Semitism. It's like upvoting your own YouTube comment. Yeah, true. True. See, there are people who love Israel. I love Israel. Danny Danon. Do you practice in the shower? No, I've just heard his dumbass so many fucking times that it's just burned into my conscience. Do not walk away.
In the hall.
You are walking away anti-Semitically. You are all Hamas. It's wild that, yeah, someone pointed this out, but it's wild that there's traffic walking out. That's how many people are walking out, that they're like bumping into one another. Oh, man. Now, of course, this is still symbolism, but it is consequential. It is meaningful. Even if it's like the conditional state recognition is still consequential, it's still meaningful. These things take time. Remember, I understand why people are frustrated. Just remember, if you're frustrated, that means that our job is not over, okay? You just got to keep pushing. You just got to keep bringing more allies to the cause, more people to the forefront, more people to engage in direct action, more people to mobilize. It is what it is, okay? That's why I always say whenever I see new polls that come out where people are like 56% of Americans think Israel is committing a genocide, 60% of Americans don't like Israel, stuff like that, I'm like, it's not enough, okay? It's not enough. We got to get those numbers up. And I'll be talking about that in a little bit because a new poll just came out. Those are rookie numbers. It is a real shame that Americans are still asleep.
Please order in the hall and please be seated.
Why didn't the UN arrest them? Because the UN has no power, okay? He's in the United States of America, he's in New York, and he's Trump's daddy. So that shit's not happening, okay? It's like asking, why did the UN not arrest Donald Trump? By the way, they brought in hype men in anticipation for this. The General Assembly Hall is mostly empty as Netanyahu speaks, with many delegations having walked out. But the audience gallery above the hall, where member states can bring guests, is full, suggesting Israel bought a cheering squad as it did last year to compensate for the empty hall. Oh, I would say this is a shameful experience for Israel, but I don't think they have the capacity to feel shame. Because honestly, if you're a fucking genocidaire, like you've already lost your own personal humanity in the process, and also the capacity to feel shame. They are literally view-botting, bro. They're view-botting IRL. Who the fuck does that? It is the most pathetic thing. We are loved. We are still loved. Everyone loves Israel. Everyone. It's so fake, bro. It's so fake. They did this with Eurovision too. They do this all the goddamn time, okay? They do this non-fucking stop. Anyway, there were some lowlights and some highlights. I'm not going to listen to the whole thing, but during Netanyahu's speech at the UN, Israeli platforms started reporting that wounded occupation soldiers were being transferred to the Beilinson hospital via helicopter following a security incident in Gaza. The Quds translation says platforms for settlers say that helicopters of the occupation army are transporting injured soldiers from Gaza, coinciding with Netanyahu's speech. The IDF has identified significant progress in the capabilities of the Houthis, including in the developments of the factories underground. This is another interesting development for the record. In remote areas and as secret projects for the benefit of self-production of missiles and drones in Yemen using Iranian knowledge. Not only Iranian knowledge, but real ball knowers know that is also DPRK knowledge. DPRK knowledge of tunnel systems were handed off to the Iranian government, which is now using that same knowledge for the Ansar Allah movement in Yemen. Okay? Efforts to reach a security pact between Syria and Israel have hit a last-minute snag over Israel's demands that it be allowed to open a humanitarian corridor to Syria's southern province of Suwaida. Four sources familiar with the talk said to Reuters. And despite the loudspeaker operation so far, residents in Gaza complain in Telegram groups that they hear nothing from Netanyahu's speech, which is supposed to be broadcast on loudspeakers deployed by the IDF. Anyway, Barry says, I've been following all of Netanyahu's speeches in international forums for 2 decades. I don't recall a worse and more failed speech than this, even in terms of his stuttering and lack of fluency in delivery. This is from Channel 12. He brought a bunch of the idiotic and racist fucking placards, as you are familiar with. Also, in preparation for his speech at the UN, the Prime Minister's office launched an unprecedented propaganda campaign in New York, before I forget to mention that as well, with dozens of billboards and trucks around the UN building and in Times Square, bearing the message, remember October 7. Okay? That was their big push. That was their big fucking push. They were like, remember October 7, October 7. They had the fucking trucks lining up. They had the trucks lining up all over New York City being like, remember October 7, remember October 7, which I don't think people are going to be thinking about that right now. So they were view-botting with the trucks as well. Yeah, he brought back the curse, showing all of the enemies of Israel. So far, Netanyahu has listed everyone they have killed in the last 2 years, and now he's praising Trump for bombing Iran. UNSC sanctions on Iran must be snapped back. What I ask you to do, hold up your phone, zoom in, and you will too see why we win and why we must win. Of course, he had a QR code on that little button that he had. Well, not little. That large-ass fucking button that he wore, which I guess would beam you propaganda directly to your phone. Do not scan that shit, by the way. I do not want whatever kind of fucking insane phishing operation Israel is doing with that shit. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, and I don't suggest you do either. Netanyahu is now speaking directly to the prisoners of war via the loudspeakers that he set up around Gaza. Nothing interesting, just a PR stunt. Netanyahu is now quizzing the General Assembly. Who shouts death to America? Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, all of the above. Fucking idiot. So stupid. So fucking desperate. Anyway, and then he turns around and says, who has murdered Americans and Europeans in cold blood? Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, all of the above. Ironic, because he could ask that question and put Israel in there as well. And Israel would also be a part of the all of the above, for the record. I'm noticing a lack of ISIS in here. I am noticing a lack of ISIS in here. Are they... What's the reason for that, I wonder? Much to consider. Anyway, I'm sorry to say here, yet over time, many world leaders buckled. They buckled under the pressure of a biased media, radical Islamists, and anti-Semitic mobs. When the going got tough, you caved. And he just like was complaining about how world leaders are caving to the principle of democracy that they must maintain because their fucking populations are obviously screaming bloody murder at Israel's bloody murder. He says, you condemn us, you embargo us, and you wage lawfare against us. This is not an indictment of Israel. It's an indictment of you. And I do think it's an indictment of everyone around the globe. As Greta Thunberg said yesterday, Greta Thunberg said she's not afraid of Israel. She's afraid of a world that turns a blind eye to the atrocities that Israel is committing. And it is an indictment for sure. It's a Twitter post, my dude. What? Not all Israelinas don't back the genocide. Chill. Stop it. Forget it. They are not. It's a Twitter post, my dude. Wait, what? Are you okay? It's a summarization in the form of a Twitter thread of the things that Benjamin Netanyahu said. I think it's a much better way to get the full vibes instead of having to listen to this fucking demon, okay? Oh, you mean the QR code? Yeah, I'm not touching that. I don't give a fuck.
To Israel, rather, and a mortal threat to the civilized world.
Yeah.
We lift.
Classic speech. We're not fighting. We're not fighting for us. We're not fighting for an exterminationist principle here. We're fighting to preserve Western supremacy. We're fighting to defend the world from the scary forces of evil, Islam. That's what it is. We're fighting Islam. It's all of yours. Okay? This war is a war for all of you. Okay? Anyway, Zionism Observer reports, let's talk about the new Israeli atrocity porn website. They promoted their new gore picture website at Netanyahu's UN speech with a large button that has a QR code on it. The code was also promoted on rented trucks driving around New York City. The QR code directs the visitor to Saturday7October.com. Remove the space before .com to make the URL functional. The domain itself was purchased by GoDaddy, from GoDaddy less than 2 weeks after October 7. Classic. The website was delivered to me using a VPN set from New York City from a data center just northeast of Wichita, Kansas, USA. This is a Cloudflare data center, but I believe the site itself is hosted on Google Cloud. The technology powering the website isn't interesting. There is a little bit of tracking software, but not more than most other websites. The website itself is just atrocity porn, photos and videos of mutilated bodies. They have a page entitled Massacre of Soldiers for some reason. When I set my VPN to Israel, the page refused to load. Under the hood site returned a 403 forbidden response code. Wait, what? The QR code, if you are in Israel, doesn't even work? That's funny. Anyway, don't visit it. It's very sus. I'm not touching that shit. Like I said, don't go there. Don't do it. Anyway, oh Jesus. This atrocity porn website seems to be just another example of the current state of Zionist propaganda flailing. Because remember, and this is very important to understand, what Israel has done post-October 7 is a million times worse than October 7. And therefore, them consistently going back to October 7 to be like, this is why we're doing it, this is why we're doing it, is not going to work. The reason why it's not going to work is because for the past 2 years, we have seen you do on October 7 on the Palestinian population every day, much worse than October 7, as a matter of fact, destroying literally all functioning forms of government, killing children, slaughtering women, blowing up every fucking hospital. Like, what are you talking about, October 7? What the fuck do you mean, October 7? This shit is not going to work. Of course it's not going to work. It's ridiculous. If you think all human beings are equal, if you think that the Israeli population are human beings, and you think the Palestinian population is also human beings, you are going to look at how fucking heavily the scales are tilted in one direction. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous to say, like, remember this, this is why we're doing it, this is why we're doing it, over and over again. You're starving an entire population of people. You're blocking medical supplies from going into the Strip. You've blown up every hospital. You've blown up every school. You've assassinated everyone that works in the civil governance division that tries to keep things together amidst the genocide. You've slaughtered tens of thousands of children. You've wounded hundreds of thousands of children gravely. And in the process, you have lied. You have stolen. Of course, no one is going to fuck with you ever again. You've killed hundreds of journalists. It's ridiculous. Israel has done every bad possible thing you can do. It's like they've looked at what the Nazis did during the Holocaust as a checklist of what they can accomplish against the Palestinian population. Completely ridiculous. You've even bombed Qatar, a country that is supposed to be a neutral territory for mediation. You've bombed the capital of Qatar. Only a couple miles away are 10,000 American soldiers. That's where U.S. Central Command is. It's fucking ridiculous. This kind of shit, no matter how hard mainstream media pushes for it, is not going to work. Is not going to bring back support for Israel. As a matter of fact, every time they try this shit, I think more and more people go, enough is enough, man. Stop. Stop the genocide. Stop the Holocaust. It's fucking over.
A dark cloud that could have claimed millions and millions of lives.
There was a funny moment, too.
But, ladies and
there was a couple funny moments where there's a moment where he demands that people laugh at his joke, which obviously doesn't work. And then there's another moment where he's talking about, Palestinians celebrating October 7th, dancing on rooftops, which I feel like is a flex, right?
We must remain vigilant. We must remain absolutely clear-minded and vigilant. We must not allow Iran to rebuild its military nuclear capacities. Iran's stockpiles of enriched...
Shut the fuck up.
And the bold decisions we took, Israel rebounded from its darkest day to deliver one of the most stunning military comebacks in history.
That's all the peanut gallery that they brought in for claps.
We're not done yet. The final elements, the final remnants of Hamas are holed up in Gaza City.
By the way, his own authorities, his own military authorities have actually directly contradicted this idiotic narrative that they haven't even been able to put a dent in the Hamas militancy. The Palestinian resistance has actually gone back to its initial numbers pre-October 7 in the process of this genocide, because understandably more and more people have taken up arms against Israel. So they failed. They failed spectacularly on every fucking front. It's so unimaginably cooked. Anyway, here it is, him flexing.
Half the Houthi leadership in Yemen, gone. Yahya Sinwar in Gaza.
Yahya Sinwar in Gaza. Yahya.
Gone. Hassan Nasrallah in Lebanon. Gone. The Assad regime in Syria. Gone. Those militias in Iraq, well, they're still deterred. And their leaders, if they attack Israel, will also be gone. And for Iran's top military commanders and its top atomic bomb scientists, well, they're gone too.
There was that. I want to see the. Oh, here it is. This is where he says Palestinians celebrated the October 7 attacks.
This week, the leaders of France, Britain, Australia, Canada, and other countries unconditionally recognized a Palestinian state. They did so after the horrors committed by Hamas on October 7th. Horrors praised on that day by nearly 90% of the Palestinian population. Now, let me say that again. Nearly 90% of Palestinians supported the attack on.
Where is this number coming from? And by the way, I wonder why. I know he fucking just pulled that out of his ass, but I'm sure plenty of people did. I wonder why. Really, really strange. I thought that these guys loved Israel and they hated Hamas. I wonder why they seemingly don't love Israel. Yeah, I saw this. BB saying they danced on the rooftops regarding Palestinian response to October 7. You are playing with fire, sir. I said, this is like when Saudi Arabia threatened to do 9/11 again. Like that's him dabbing on us, I think. That's what it feels like to me when he's talking about people dancing on 9/11.
October 7th. It's not supported only. They celebrated it. They danced on the rooftops. They threw candies. That's both in Gaza and in Judea, Samaria, the West Bank, as you call it. And it's just the way they celebrated another horror, 9/11. They danced on the rooftops.
See, that's a flex. See, I don't know if that's him tweaking the algo. I don't know if that's him tweaking the algo for dancing 9/11 Israel. So when you Google it, this comes up. But that's crazy. That's a crazy callback. That's a crazy callback for him to do. Okay? That's just, it comes across like he's flexing.
They cheered. They threw candy. You know what message the leaders who recognize the Palestinian state this week sent to the Palestinians? It's a very clear message. Murdering Jews pays off. Well, I have a message for these leaders. When the most savage terrorists on earth.
This is just a recognition of L's, in my opinion. The way he's like, by the way, when he says the Palestinians, when he says the Palestinians were dancing on the rooftops on 9/11, that's a idiotic statement twofold, because the majority of the Palestinian population living in Gaza was not alive during 9/11. Okay? Gaza is a very young population. The majority of the Palestinian population living in Gaza before October 7 was under the age of 18. Okay? So like any kind of statement like this is so fucking stupid.
Are effusively praising your decision. You didn't do something right. You did something wrong, horribly wrong.
Yeah, also, given the attitude, given the overall sentiment against Israel right now, any invocation of the Nazis, and I said this in the beginning, I said this on like October 8, 2023, I said, if I was Israel, I would not be making ISIS comparisons and I would not be making Nazi comparisons, because before you know it, people are going to be like, Nazi comparisons. I wonder which side in this conflict, if you want to call it that, resembles the military power that the Nazis had and the carnage that they created for a captive population of civilians. So now, because he's still operating on pre-October 7 brain, he's over here talking about like, He's over here easily making invocations to Nazi Germany and the Jews, not realizing that for virtually everyone with 3 acting brain cells, they hear that and go, yeah, that's you. You're the Nazi in this equation.
What, did the Nazis ask the Jews to leave, kindly leave, go out? Did others, you want me to name all the genocidal leaders of history?
Do you think he actually believes what he's saying? I don't think he fucking has a shred of sincerity in his soul. He doesn't even have a soul.
Go one by one. Did anyone do this? Did they say, get out so we can come in? Of course not. What?
Interesting. This is not the first time, but it seems the second time that he is invoking Nazis as a comparison to himself. Interesting. Last week, he brought up Joseph Goebbels for some weird fucking reason. And it wasn't to shit on the Nazis. He used a Goebbels quote positively. And it kind of feels like it's happening here as well. Why didn't anyone arrest him when he's there? Because it's Israel, man. Are you kidding me? Our administration sucks the shit out of his asshole. Get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about?